Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining. This is Lisa Demeter, Customer Care Manager from Operations Support. I also have on the webinar and phone, we've got Noelle Rhodes and Elise Bell from Kingsley. So thanks so much for taking some time out today to learn more about Kingsley. For those of you that have never heard of Kingsley before, Kingsley's been a partner of the BRE Legacy portfolio for years, and additionally, Essex has been using them in a pilot program for the last year. So as a result of the merger, it was really one of those decisions that was really natural for us. We were already piloting Kingsley. It was something that we were already interested in building a partnership with them. So we decided to go ahead and select Kingsley for our survey partner. And all of the Essex properties officially were moved to Kingsley as our survey provider in October. So some of you may have already seen some emails come through where customers have completed surveys and are asking for contact from you. And we'll get more into that later on. So some of the reasons that we chose Kingsley as our partner is that we really have very similar business philosophy. They understand that it's really more relevant for us to compare ourselves against our REIT peers and our true competitors, which is the West Coast market, and that is exactly who Kingsley is comparing us against. For those of you that have been using J. Turner through previous years, we had a great relationship with them, but the reality is that they were comparing us to property owners in the Midwest, and it's a totally different market, and it's just not really an ideal situation to be comparing ourselves against markets that are so dissimilar to us. So I just wanted to go through a couple of reasons why we actually survey our customers. So one of the reasons is that we want to ensure customer loyalty. And what that really means to me is that we want to know what they like and what they don't like. And really where we get some valuable information and where it starts to help us from a word of mouth standpoint is when they start talking about us to their family and friends, and then obviously that can translate into a resident referral. We also survey our customers to provide improved customer satisfaction. So, for me, the definition of a satisfied customer is a customer that doesn't have any outstanding negative issues. Customer satisfaction doesn't mean that the world is perfect and there's never been any issues. Again, it just means that we've given them a chance to voice any concerns that they have. We've listened to them with empathy and made a good attempt at resolving whatever their concern is. I think through this merger process, we can all relate to how good it feels when we see something that's not working right within the organization. We bring it to somebody's attention and we actually see that something that we noticed and that we voiced resulted in a change. And it's very similar for our customers. It's really rewarding for them to see us listen and make changes as appropriate. So another reason why we survey our customers is we really want to create an environment for open and effective communication. So really sympathizing and empathizing with our customers is essential. So surveys are a way that our customer can tell their view without interruption. And I'm sure we can all relate when a customer sometimes comes in at the beginning of a month when they're paying rent. Maybe that might be a time that they want to voice concerns, but sometimes that's some of the busiest times in our leasing office. So this is a platform and an environment for our customer to really thoughtfully write back to us about what they think needs improvement, whether it could just be a positive remark and maybe there's nothing that they really are asking for improvement, but they want to share some positive feedback with us. So with this said, I just want to mention that follow-up is key here. So if we're giving our customers a platform to communicate with us and we're giving them an option on the survey where they're asking us to respond to them and then we don't follow up with them, then we're doing actually more damage than we are doing good. So that really ties back into what I mentioned at the very beginning, that you guys have been getting email notification when a customer has asked to be responded to. So it's really crucial, if you have not done so yet, to log on to the Kingsley portal and to follow up with those emails and make sure we don't have any outstanding customer concerns there. And then one of the other reasons that we survey our customers is because we want to have transparency in spotting trends. So not only within your individual community, but within our marketplace, and as an organization looking at things in a portfolio basis, it really gives us an opportunity to pick up trends and patterns. Who knows what we can find out. We can find a common theme that customers are consistently asking for X, Y, and Z, and that could be something that really leads to a really unique way of doing business, and then that, of course, can lead to great business practices on our end. So just next wanted to touch on the science behind Kingsley. So Kingsley receives an automatic feed of data from Essex each week with a list of residents or prospects who qualify for a survey. Then Kingsley pushes out those survey invitations on Tuesdays of each week. And then if they don't hear back from our residents or prospects, then they're going to send them reminder emails encouraging them to respond to the survey. So what Kingsley does is they compile real-time survey data, so this can be response rates, requests for contact, and a dashboard of scores, and they make it available to all of us on the Kingsley portal. So the other thing that you're going to be seeing here at the beginning of November is you're going to get your first report that tells you what our survey results and what our scores are compared to the Kingsley Index. So the Kingsley Index is the industry's most comprehensive performance benchmarking tool. In 2014 alone, Kingsley will survey over 3 million residents. So that's just a wealth of information and data for us and them to use to compare ourselves to. So they also have customized survey benchmarks that are created specifically for Essex using data that most closely mirrors our portfolio. So just a little side note here, in case we do have any BRE alumni on here, Kingsley had established a Kingsley Index for the BRE legacy properties, and then Essex had their own index based on the Essex properties. So here at the beginning of 2015, we will all be on one Kingsley platform, and that means we will also be getting a new Kingsley Index. So in 2015 is really when we'll be able to focus on comparing ourselves as an organization, and really the goal is to exceed the Kingsley Index. So what type of surveys are we sending out? So we're sending out surveys to our prospects. Specifically, the prospects are asked to rate their overall satisfaction with the process, and they're sent this invitation approximately 10 to 14 days after their move-in. So the score that the community receives on this question is aggregated with all of the responses at the community. So we also send move-in surveys, work order, and then we send a survey where we want to touch our residents about 120 days before their lease expires. So I want to make sure that you guys know that we're not going to bombard our customers with surveys. They're not going to receive any more than 2 survey requests in a 30-day period. So here we have up on the screen just a visual for you guys so you can see from the customer's standpoint what that survey looks like. And then a little bit later on, Elise from Kingsley is going to actually introduce you to the portal and show you additionally what that looks like. So what does this change from J. Turner to Kingsley mean for you? So it means you're going to be logging on to Kingsley rather than J. Turner. You should have received an email. It would have been from Christian Vanderhall at KingsleyAssociates.com, and it would have contained a unique log on for you, and then you would have been prompted to select one email password for you to share amongst your entire office associates. So we started surveying your customers the beginning of October. So again, you probably have already seen email notifications that the customer is asking to be contacted. So what do you actually need to do? So as I mentioned, you should have received an email from Kingsley. And then in addition, with that email, they have a link that invited you to view their portal training video. So this is something that's really great, especially for folks that are new to the industry, new to Kingsley in general. It's really an in-depth training video that will walk you through their entire portal. Again, as I mentioned, you want to write down and share the new password with all of your office associates. So if we have any BRE alumni on the team, a little bit different from what you're used to. Individually, you had your own username and password, whereas with this new program rollout, we're going to move to each community sharing one password and username, and the community email address is used as the primary email address. So when should you log on to Kingsley? So at least weekly to check response rates, looking for invalid email addresses. You're also going to log on once a request for contact has been handled and when a notification is sent to you to let you know that the previous month's survey results are available. So now I'm going to pass over the presentation to Elise from Kingsley, and she's going to show you what you're actually going to be doing in the Kingsley system for these action items.
Okay, great. Thank you, Lisa. So here I am at our Kingsley portal site, and as Lisa described before, our portal is a comprehensive online survey tracking tool. And so while the surveys are being completed, and while the results are coming in, you can track in real-time responses and aggregates of data. And then again, at the monthly reporting intervals, you can come into this site to also check out your monthly results. The portal shows lots of resident additional detail as well, where you can click through and see all the different resident records for different survey types and update invalid email addresses. So we're going to go through a few of those key functionalities today. So I'm logged in here at the Wilshire Promenade access, and the first thing that you'll see when you log in is a list of all of your projects. And so this community has been participating since Q3 in 2013, and they'll see a list each quarter. We make a new project just to make it a bit easier for you to organize all the different records and all the different surveys that are coming in. We have everything organized by quarter. The most recent project will always be at the top, and you can click back to see historical information as well. So I'm going to click today into the Q3 project. It just has a little bit more data for me to be able to show you. We're only 2 or 3 weeks into Q4. So here we are. When you click, the page will reload, and the first thing you'll see is this landing page, which we call our response rates page. We'll always let you know a reminder of the launch schedule Lisa mentioned, that we send weekly emails to newly invited residents on Tuesdays, and our reminders are 4 and 9 days following if they haven't yet responded. So this response rates table down below will show you just that, the response rates, in addition to a few other key pieces of information. But first I'll just explain this briefly. In the top row, you'll always see the total for your community. And if you're a higher level user, like a regional user, you'll see a different total up there. And then we'll always show the breakdown by survey type as well. So below you'll see move-in and pre-renewal and work order and prospect. And this is pretty typical of the range of different response rates that we get. So you can expect something like this where you have a greater percentage of the move-in residents responding than you do the prospects who don't actually live there yet. We always calculate our response rates taking the number of responses collected and dividing by the number of valid potential respondents. You'll see in the column to the right here a piece of information we call the undelivered surveys. And so those are email addresses that we attempted to send a survey invitation to, but for whatever reason, an incorrect address or a blocked address, we weren't able to reach them successfully, and so it bounced back to us as invalid. And we'll never include those in our response rates. Your response rates won't be affected by any invalid email addresses because they didn't get a fair chance to participate in the survey. So I'm going to take you into the page where you can update those invalid email addresses in just a moment. I'll explain one other column first before we go there. The other column that I wanted to show you is our request for contact column. And Lisa showed you a screenshot of how that question looks on the survey, and also mentioned that this is one of the key pieces of functionality that you'll be logging into the Kingsley portal to use. And so again, on the last page of every survey, we are asking the resident or the prospect if they would like to be contacted by an Essex representative. And so they might have a question, they might be interested in signing a lease, they might have a piece of their work order still outstanding, and they can let you know directly that they need some follow-up. So when that happens, when they request contact, when they say yes to that question, two different things will happen. First, an email will go out to the community email address to let you know that someone has requested contact. We'll let you know their basic resident information, their name, their community, the unit they're in. We'll also have a link directly to their survey transcript, so you can go in right away and see what the issue might be. The second thing that will happen is that this counter here, this number, will increase. And so as I just said, this is a counter. It's additive. So every time a new request for contact is submitted, this number will grow. If one happened, right now, this number would increase from 1 to 2. And we have a system on a page that I'm about to show you that lets you close these out. And so when you close those out, and they're marked as you have followed up with the resident about their request, this will subtract. So you want to keep this number as close to 0 as possible. That'll let you know that you have no outstanding requests to follow up with. So having said that, I'm going to take you to the page where you can actually make that happen. So there is a details column here. If you're ever looking for detailed information about the respondents, this is where you would go. In the top row here, you can click respondents to see all of them for the community. If you were just interested in the move-in respondents or just the prospect respondents, you can click here through the table to narrow in. I'm going to click here on the entire community's respondent list. And the page is going to reload, and it's going to show me a new page that has a record for everyone who's eligible to participate in the survey. And so what we do is we always sort the ones that are invalid to the top. We want to make sure that those are called to attention. So we can see here that Joyce's email bounced back. joyg3@hotmail.com, perhaps it's not the right address. Maybe she's changed her address, maybe she has an alternative one, or maybe there's just a small typo. It's quite easy to update in the system. In the actions column, there's a small pencil icon, and you can click on the pencil icon. It will open a pop-up box, and you can come in here and edit the email address however you need to. Once you hit save, the page will reload. It will recognize the new address, and it will tell our system that there's a new email that needs to go out, and it will send this resident record a new email invitation to the survey to that updated address automatically within 24 hours. So there's nothing else you need to do except make the update, and a new email will go out. We have some search tools at the top here. If you are interested in searching for all of the invalid email addresses, they do come up first, but if they extended past a page, you could search for just those ones. You might want to search for just the responded ones. You want to look at the responses that have come in the past few days. You can click the radio button and click search. And this will reload. You'll see that now we're looking at only the respondents that have completed a survey. And so I want to show you a few things here in this responded status section. The first is the request for contact. And so this is what we were talking about before on the response rates page, where we have the column that counts open requests for contact. You can sort by any of these column headers here, indicator, name, email, etc. I'm going to sort by contact to pull all of those up to the top. So there was only one request for contact here, and when it is outstanding, you're going to see a yellow exclamation point. So you may receive notice of this by email, come into the portal. You can always click here to open the actual survey response. And you'll see that this prospect had a great experience. Perhaps they're interested in leasing. And if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see the question, if they wanted contact, they said yes, and she's left a phone number, the best place to contact her. So once you've read through the survey and understood kind of what the issue might be or the reason they want contact, and you followed up, you can come in here and click the yellow exclamation point. A window will load. You can check this checkbox here to indicate that this resident has been contacted, and you can type in notes here as you like. And those notes will be saved. They'll be date stamped, and any other user who comes into the system will see once you've saved this that this contact has been followed up with, and they'll see a history of any of the notes you entered as well. So if I press save, which I won't here, I don't want to confused. This is real live data from our Q3 portal. So if I did press save, the page would reload, and this yellow exclamation point would turn into a green check mark. So everyone in the system would have a quick, easy indicator to know that this contact, this resident has already received their follow-up, and everything is great. Again, like I mentioned, this is connected to the counter on this response rates page. And so had we followed up, had I clicked the checkbox that I had contacted the resident and pressed save, this number 1 would subtract to a 0, and there would be no more outstanding requests for contact. And so that's just one of the features that we have available on our portal. As Lisa mentioned, there is a full-length video that goes through some of our other real-time reporting tools on the dashboard and how to interpret our monthly results reports. And lots of other detailed functionality of our portal system. But those are a few key ones for you to take away today as you start using the Kingsley portal.
Thanks, Elise. I think I'm going to have you hang on as presenter. Looks like
Sure.
We've got a couple of questions that could be related to the actual site.
Oh,
Noelle,
sure.
Noelle, do you want to read those questions or invite folks to? Okay.
Yeah. Question comes from Calvin. Is there a way to run a report that shows all reviews that come in without having to click into each individual review and to print it in Excel versus a whole review each time?
We have a feature called the transcript report, and we can turn that on. Usually we wait to see if that's a feature that everybody's interested in, but I'll show Lisa a preview of what that looks like. It doesn't print all of the transcripts as you see them directly on the survey in that format with the header and the nicely laid out questions, but it does print out for you a condensed version of all the transcripts. If you're looking more for raw data, I know you mentioned that perhaps you're interested in an Excel format of the answers. We have a raw data report as well. So that's something I can preview as well, and if those are features we want to turn on, we can definitely turn those on.
So Calvin, I would say take a look at the reports that are going to be delivered to you the beginning of November for the data received in October. And if you want different reporting than what's automatically provided to you, then send me an email or customercare@essex.com, and we'll look into that for you.
Great. Calvin says thank you.
You're welcome.
The next one we have is from Boulevard. Will the updated email in the Kingsley portal update Yardi's database?
It will not automatically update, no. So if you notice that there was an invalid email address on the Kingsley site that came back from an undelivered survey and you updated it here, you would also need to update it in Yardi.
Okay. We have another one from Jennifer. She asks, we have not received an email from Kingsley with the login information. Who can we contact to get that sent?
Sure. So you can contact Christian Vanderwall. It's cvanderwall@kingsley.associates.com. And everyone early next week at the beginning of the month will receive an email letting them know that the reports are coming out for October, and that will have your login information as well. So if you forget to email Christian, you can expect an email in the next week or so with your login information. But feel free to email us. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I just sent out to the entire group Christian's email. I
Oh,
noticed,
perfect.
Since we had the cyber issue, I personally noticed that some emails were going to my junk folder that traditionally did not. So
Okay.
I just provided his email. It might be worthwhile for you to check your junk filter or sort your email by the email address I just provided. Any other questions, Noelle?
Not yet.
Okay. So, Elise, if you want to change me back as presenter, and to the group, continue to type in your questions. We're nearing the end here, so I'll give you one more opportunity to ask questions, and then you can type them in, or you can hit *6 on your phone to unmute yourself. So I wanted to let you guys know that we did actually create an SOP and playbook regarding best practices for Kingsley. So this contains a lot of information that will really be helpful to you. I know how it goes. You're on some of these trainings, but until you actually physically get in the system and start using it, sometimes that's when questions come up. So within Playbook, we have links directly to push you to Kingsley Associates. We have links to Wiki. We are recording this webinar, and it will be posted on the Wiki page. You can email customercare@essex.com if you need any support. And I guess now is a good time just to clarify for the group that originally marketing was the liaison and the owner of the resident surveys, if you will. So I just officially want to let everybody know that the customer care department is home for the resident surveys. This is a general email address that was created recently, so you can contact us anytime about that. So I'll give you guys a few minutes to type in some questions, and I just want to recap some best practices for you. So I just have 5 quick takeaways for you all. So number 1 would be to respond to requests for contact as soon as possible. Number 2 would be for you to check the portal at least weekly. And again, you're looking for folks that are asking to be contacted, and since we're using the general property email address for those requests for contacts, and maybe there might be multiple people that are receiving that, physically logging into the portal weekly is really going to be your best option there. So you're going to also want to review the dashboard to look for lowering scoring rates. So, the portal dashboard allows for real-time monitoring of scores. You don't have to wait until the reports are delivered to act upon any problem areas. You can use the dashboard to kind of get ahead of any issues and improve your scores before the next reports are published. Fourth takeaway is that you really want to encourage resident participation. So, I think, if you are letting people know that they should expect to receive a survey, I think it really is going to increase the amount of folks that participate in the survey. So, and then the last one is to really make sure that you extend a thank you to residents that provide feedback, whether it be positive or negative or neutral. There's a lot of focus on the less satisfied customers, but we do get a lot of positive results too. So we really want to thank our customers for just completing the survey in general, whether they're giving positive or negative feedback. So with those closing takeaways, does anybody have any additional questions? If so, please select *6 on your phone to ask them.
I did get one from Greg at Willow Lake.
Great.
He asked, once we have contacted a resident and entered our comments, do we need to close the survey?
Once you've populated the information and updated as Elise shows, it's going to move to a green light without the exclamation point, and that's going to signify that it's been taken care of and closed out. So it won't close the survey so much. It'll just update it from a pending status to something that's completed. Any other questions?
Nope, not on the log.
Okay. Well, you guys, thanks so much for taking time out of your day to join us today. And as I mentioned, if you think of a question later, check out Playbook. And if you don't find an answer there, I'd be happy to answer it for you. Email customercare@essex.com. And everyone, have a great day. Thanks so much.
Thank you.